What is up, everybody? Today we got another Johnny TCG video, this time in the OP07 Eastern format. I get to choose the turn order. I'm going second. I like my hand. I see an Otama, which is a great searcher, and two Ryumas, which are some of the bread and butter of the OP07 or even OP06 Perona. But I am going to be running a Wano package, so this means a lot of the 4-drop Hioris, we have the Ryumas, we have Otamas, we have Momonosuke's. So this is all going to be very heavily focused on that 4-Don combo where you play Hiyori and then put it to the trash, draw one card, and play Ryuma. First off, with an Otama search, we get another Ryuma. That is maybe questionable when I could have gotten an Izo, but you can never have too many Ryumas, I guess. And then I play out a Momonosuke to play next turn. 7k at life, I'll take it. Another Momonosuke. I'll rest him and draw the Hiyori. 3 down left. I'm kind of thinking, what should I do now? I think 6k at lead will be best, and then another search with the other Momonosuke I have in hand. I use leader ability to rest Otama. Not that it was going to swing anyway. And then we'll play another searcher. And this time, I do love you can be my samurai, so I'm gonna go with that, but I don't really think I could have went wrong there. I think that they'll only be able to get rid of one of my characters on board, and so it'll be perfect to use You Are My Samurai and get an extra 2-card draw. This is actually an OP01 card that gained a lot of popularity recently when the Wano build kind of started gaining popularity as well in Japan, and now it's kind of the thought of it is trickling over to the east or the west. Suru to minus that Cavendish and then using leader ability to rest it. Those Cavendishes are such a big part of Bonnie's strategy, being able to unrest 2 Don when attacking. So I knew that I had to get it off the board ASAP. Using You Are My Samurai, I actually draw into 2 5-drop Sabos, which is pretty funny. And right now I'm just going to swing 5k at life with leader, not really expecting it to go through. And then I'm going to use the bread and butter combo of this deck, which is Hiyori, trashing it to play a 4-drop Land of Wano, and then KOing it. 5k at life, I don't feel any pressure right now, but I feel like I do have a lot of cards in hand, so I might as well get rid of some. The 6-drop Basil Hawkins in OP07 is an annoying card to play around. It's very sticky on the board where if any of your characters are unrested and you try to remove it from the board in any way, instead of that effect going through, it can rest one of your characters and therefore stay on the board, which is a great effect. I'm gonna swing 6k at life with Ryuma. They rest my leader, and I'm surprised they don't block right there with Basil Hawkins. Would have been a free block, but I guess they don't know what else I'm running. Maybe they are worried about resting it, and therefore I can use cost lowering cards to then hit it with a Ryuma. Debating on what I should do here with 6 Don. There's not really a clear play. I think I'll just go Momonosuke and then Sabo to protect the entire board. The reason I choose Otama there is because I think if I were to Gecko Moria, I would rather play out the Otama with the 2 cost or less character instead of a Tsuru. Don't get anything too noteworthy on the Sabo effect. I think I'm just gonna trash these Yamasans as at this point in the game. I don't know if I'm really gonna find the time to get them out. Those are really best served with the Hiyori combo early on in the game on a 4-don turn. I'll take a free block with Sabo, and then they put out the 9-drop Roronoa Zoro from OP06. Beautiful art, awesome card. And then they swing 7 at my Ryuma with Basil Hawkins. I do have a lot of cost lowering in my hand, so I'm definitely going to get rid of this Zoro this turn. It's just a matter of how. I swing 6k at life with Ryuma. It's one of the few attackers I have on the board, and I don't want to do any Don commitments to get rid of that Basil Hawkins. And I expected them to counter out of it. They've got a ton of cards in hand. And here I'm debating on how to get rid of this Sabo. How to get rid of this Zoro. And I do my math a little weird, but it still works out in the end. Giving it -5, bringing it down to a 4 cost, which means I can use my leader's ability to rest it. And then I'm going to hit it with the Ryuma. The thing is, for this combo, though, I can actually use the Hiyori first and then play out the Ryuma, which allows me to draw a card. And so I just got a 2k counter practically for free. I'm swing 7 at life here. Late game, Bonnie gets pretty strong, and I need to start maybe lowering the life a little bit. And then I do some I use a You Can Be My Samurai to rest my Momonosuke's to draw 2, and I actually get the Gecko, which I'm excited about. I'll take a free block with Sabo. Who doesn't love a free block? Right now I'm expecting a Doflamingo. That 10-drop could rest my Ryuma, Sabo, and leader, and really kind of put a damper on my next turn play. 7k at lead. I could block this, but I'm just kind of looking to see what I get. I do run one Stussy in my deck, and I'm thinking right now I have the expectation that they might be playing the 10-drop Doflamingo. And if that's the case, I wanted to be able to top it. They go for the 8-drop Kid from OP01, which isn't too surprising. This card, you can, when it has 1 Don attached and it is rested, your opponent can only attack into it. I am not nervous about this though, because I have the cost removal to bring it down. I can use my leader's other effect, which instead of resting it, I can make it lowered I can bring its cost down by 1. And then I'm gonna do the old Hiyori into Ryuma combo. How many times do I have to tell you this combo is beautiful? I run another Momonosuke search and I take the Izo. I've had enough Ryumas at this point in the game, and I'm kind of looking for some 2k counters. So Izo's a welcome addition. I did see my 1 copy of Stussy in the deck on that search, and with me bottom decking it, I know not to expect it anytime soon. They start letting hits get passed to their life, and I'm feeling pretty good right now. I don't have a ton of counter in hand. Look at that, 2 Geckos and 3 Sabos. Talk about having the top end, but I've got a blocker up, and I'm feeling confident about my options. they're thinking and they just do a 5k into life. This could be a free block with Sabo, um, but I'm not sure what they're going to do with the Hawkins, and I'm not sure if Doflamingo is going to come out, so I decide just to give them a 2k. And here, I think I'll do a free block, or it's not free. I'll block and give it. I'll give them 2k, so my Sabo stays alive. And now I've got a board where even if they drop the 10 drop Doflamingo, I would still have a couple of good swings on board. I go with the Cavendish, which lets them put Tudon back up as active, and then therefore they can afford to play another Basil Hawkins. So that was a pretty good turn for them. I do have a lot of bodies on board though. So let's see if they can handle them all. Using leader ability, they rest one of my Ryumas. Just give them another 6k poke with Ryuma. For one Dawn, I'll take a search. That Ice Age I think I would have liked, but yeah, I'll take a 2k counter. And then I'm going to swing 6k at lead. This could be a free block with their Basil Hawkins. Let's see if they give me counter or if they block it. They're debating. I don't play any rushers. I'm not gonna swing with my Sabo, so I think the free block would have been better in this case, but they give me a 2k. And then from here, I'm debating on what to play. I'm gonna go with the Sabo. I'm going to trash a Sabo from my hand and KO the Cavendish. The reason I chose that is because the Basil Hawkins. Well, one, I would have had to use my leader ability to bring it down by one cost, and two, it would have rested my Sabo or either Sabo that I played. So it would not have successfully gone through. Here, 5k at life, free block by Sabo. That Sabo has stayed on the board for so long. 7k at life, I will take that. Not feeling worried again. Feeling pretty comfortable. I imagine they'll want to keep up at least one of the Basil Hawkins, but even if they swing with this one, I've got plenty of counter in hand. They swing it at life. Right now I'm just kind of checking out their trash. And I'll give them the counter. Not that I think it really matters, but I might as well. I've got it. So. And they go with another Captain Kidd. This time they play out the 3-drop Bartolomeo from OP07. Now, this really isn't a big deal, as using leader ability, I can just rest it, and then some of my bodies can swing into it. But I think they made a fatal flaw here, and they didn't add a Don to Eustace Captain Kidd, meaning I can just go straight to life. The way his ability works is that he needs to have a Don, and once they realize that, they concede. Now, the thing is, I think I would have won anyway. Just between being able to stack up Don onto Ryuma's or even that Sabo. I would have gotten the dub anyway, I believe, but yeah, really, really good game. And I think that it really showed how much draw power the Wano country engine has in Perona. between the Momonosuke's and the Otamas and the You Can Be My Samurais. Now we've got a game against another Bonnie. I go second. I started this a little late, so you didn't see my mulligan, but uh, yeah, go with the old Momonosuke Searcher on my 2 Dawn turn. And right now I'm thinking about what I want to draw, and I go with Otama. The Yamasan isn't an amazing card, and definitely a card that you could debatably cut from this deck. But next turn, being able to play a 5-drop 7,000 for 4 Dawn using Kiyori's effect would be pretty powerful. So I thought about it, but I opted to go with the Otama instead. Uh, just a great searcher, and then also the 2K counter. I rest the Rosinante using my leader's ability and swing 5 into life. And then I do the tried and true combo. Hiyori into Ryuma, KOing their Rosinante and allowing me to draw a card. As you can see, I drew You Can Be My Samurai, which I've said it before and I'll say it again. It is an amazing card in this deck. They swing 5 at life, and I'm going to take this. No reason to feel too much pressure. They dropped the 5-cost Yamato from OP01, which I've never seen in this deck before, but is that definitely an interesting choice. I think you can make the argument it fits in my deck as well, and so I am definitely considering it, maybe instead of the Yamasans. I do the 1-drop Otama, get a search, and then I'm going to go with another Ryuma play by lowering Yamato's cost and then resting it using my leader ability. And I'll swing 5 into it. This is kind of a bait. If they let it die, then I can just play out my 4-drop Borsellino blocker, which I'm perfectly happy with. Or if they continue to let it live, they are using up counter when it's just going to die anyway for my Ryuma. So, got a couple cards out of hand. Love it. They use their own Ryuma to KO my Ryuma. And it is what it is. This is definitely an interesting Bonnie build. I've never seen kind of a Wano package in it. 8 down already. This game's going by fast. I'll just start out with 6K swing leader with my Ryuma. I'm debating on what my next line of attack should be as I wait for them to play the trigger. This, whoever wins the war becomes justice trigger, rests my Otama, and I guess the benefit of that is that I can't use the You Can Be My Samurai, so that's a real heads up play by them. Here though, I'm going to use Sabo and KO the Ryuma. Now, I could have also used leader effect to rest the Ryuma and then used Gecko Moria to play. I believe I had a Ryuma in the trash, but I decided to hold off on that. I think I'd like to combo the Gecko with Borsellino as well, because I don't feel like I run a ton of blockers in this deck, and so I want to get my money's worth with them. They drop a Ryuma to KO Otama, which isn't great value, but it is what it is. And they swing 5K at life. I'm debating on what I would want to bring back from the trash with Gecko my next turn. And I'm also reading what Pika does because it's not too popular of a card. And I decided to go with One-Legged Toy Soldier. I'm still kind of reading it again. I haven't seen that card since OP05 pre-released tournaments. So, just kind of making sure I get the deal. I'm going to swing with this Sabo first, of course, because they can use their leader effect to rest one of my characters. And I'm going to go for lead here. I don't expect them to be able to counter out of this. If they did, that would be good on them. They can do whatever they want, but I would not agree with that decision. So they let it hit. And here I am going to go with Gecko, and then I'm going to play Ryuma and Otama. Ideally, you play out the Hiyori from Gecko and you have a Ryuma in hand, but it is what it is. Using Otama Search, the only option I have is Hiyori. I'll take it, 1k counter. And then using Ryuma's effect, I KO their Ryuma. And using their Ryuma's effect, they KO my Otama. So that Otama is right back in the trash. And at this point, I realized I left 2 Dawn up. There was never a really good place to kind of use it. And then I'm thinking, this is a little ambitious of me. I use You Are My Samurai on Suru, which is fine, and my Gecko, which leaving my Gecko open is a little bit questionable, especially when they play the 10 cost Doflamingo to freeze it. That is instant karma for me being greedy. I should have been on the lookout for that 10 cost Doflamingo. I know a lot of Bonnie decks run it, but yeah, it caught me totally off guard and I was being greedy. I swing into my Suru, which is really weird. I guess hypothetically I could have donned it up and swung, but do have a lot of cost removal in my hand. So if I want to be crazy, I'm kind of doing the math here of how many Surus I have. The one-legged toy soldier, my leader ability. Reading again, Pika's ability it prevents him from being KO'd. I believe it's maybe 3 costs or higher of your own characters you can rest instead of it being KO'd. So there's no point of me trying to KO it like that. That's via effects, so I could swing into it as well. And one thing to know about me is, despite what it might seem like, that I would be a math wizard with how good I am at this game, I am actually not great at math, and so oftentimes it takes me too long to calculate some of these plays, if I'm able to even calculate them at all. So 3 small bodies later, the Doflamingo is down to 3 cost, and I have rested it with my Perona. I'm gonna give 1 Dawn to Ryuma and swing 7 at the Pika because I don't have any blockers up right now, and I would feel a little bit more comfortable if I cleared their board. They give me the 0 cost event and got rid of a Basil Hawkins. That's a great card, so happy to see it gone. And then I'm going to swing another 6 at it with my leader, and they let it go. That is great news for me. Hiyori into Ryuma to KO the Doflamingo in 1 turn. That was awesome. Another Doflamingo is ridiculous. And they're going to swing 5,000. I'm going to trash the Borsalino on the counter just because I'm going to play it right back with my Gecko Moria. Now, with the 10-drop Doflamingo, they cannot leave any Dawn up for their leader ability. So I'm going to be able to do as many swings as I want between Ryuma, Perona, and if I was a crazy lad, Tsuru. I'm going to go 7 here. I could have played out the Momonosuke and did a search, but how much beneficial is that card going to be that I would have searched for? It could have been a 2k, but right now I think that 7k swing would be more important. And now I'm gonna go Gecko. I was gonna do a safe play and go Gecko into uh, Borsalino and probably Otama to get a search off, but they just concede. Uh, Sometimes people are pretty quick to uh, quit if it's not looking in their favor, and they're trying to kind of decide what you want to do. Uh, uh, eight eight Don swing with Suru would have got the job done, and so they were maybe thinking that uh, it was inevitable, uh, and that game looked like it would have been in my favor if it continued. But I was going to play a safer route with Gecko, Borsalino, Otama Searcher to get more cards in my hand. And here's the deck list I was running for those games. I've worked on it a little bit, and I'm liking where it is so far. The one thing to say is the top end I'm a little unsure about still. Geckos are great, but the Stussy and Sabo, sometimes I feel like I wish I had one or the other. Or even 10 cost Doflamingo works in this deck, and even the 9 drop Roanoa Zoro from OP06 works pretty well in this deck, I think. So I want to do some more testing with that card at least, but I'm not sure what I cut. If I cut any of these Sabos, then maybe this deck becomes a little too inconsistent in terms of top end, because you do want to kind of know what to expect. But I'll make some videos once I test this deck out a little more. Let me know what you thought about it. What do you think about the deck? What changes do you think I should consider? I really appreciate you watching. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. I'm done yapping. Peace.